Hello, everybody. I had a interesting day today. Um, had a major network outage at work and spent more than half of my day on the phone with a bunch of highly paid people that know a lot more about Cisco than I do, which kind of was in a way humbling. But this is going to be about VTP, VLAN Trunking Protocol, which is how your switches determine who is going to get um, which updates to which switches. Now, I'm doing this on my live equipment. As you can tell, I'm using TerraTerm on .41, .42, and then I have .43 right there. These are all of my switches. I have four of them actually, but I have one of. I don't need all four. As a matter of fact, I'm using switch 1, 2, and 3. And what I'm going to do is and this right here kind of gives you a um, right here. These two switches right here, the top two are 3550s, which is the step down from this guy. And then you have this guy right here, and this guy is a show verge, and this guy is a 2950 running. Where's the iOS? The iOS is right here. I lost it. Where'd it go? That's an old image, if that's the case. Yeah, that's an older image. I thought I had a newer one than that 12.1.22. What are these guys running? These guys are running IP base K9. Oh, well, I actually have to upgrade my iOS images. I thought I had a newer release than that. Show version, what it does is it's actually a really cool thing. Show version tells you how long it's been up, the image file. So, and if you do a which one am I clicked into? If you do a dir, you can go in here and you can see that this is my image that I'm running right here. So a directory would be the same thing if you did a well, actually in here, if I was I'm telnetted using a Telnet client in Windows, which is actually really easy to get to. If you go to your control panel right here, and then you go to programs, then you say turn Windows features on or off, and then it brings this guy up. And after a few minutes, okay, it took about 20 seconds after that in order for it to pop up. But if you click on Telnet Client, it'll allow you to use the Telnet feature, which is basically the same thing as Windows Hyperterminal back in the day. But I prefer to do some things on in Telnet inside command line. Why is that? Well, I have a console cable. Actually, I have 3 or 4 of them, and then I have a USB to serial flip over cable so that I can Telnet or I can console into it when it's brand new, or if I'm doing a password recovery or iOS update. I find that, and if you click on this guy and you click on it, click OK, whatever feature you click on, it'll take a couple seconds to install, about a minute or so, and then you'll have Telnet enabled. That's only going to work if you enable Telnet. So if you do a show run include line, include line console. See, line console 0. That didn't work out too well. There it goes. Oh, hey, how about that? So, show run bebop through. Oh, okay. There's a way you can go into the line and tell a transport input mode, and it'll tell you what type of transport. Do you want to have it secure where you use SSH, or do you want it secure to where, or non-secure, you want to use Telnet? I usually use Telnet. I'm on my internal LAN. I'm behind a an SPI, stateful packet inspection firewall, and then I have a a couple software firewalls and stuff like that. So I'm pretty secure behind my home router, which is actually a Cisco. What am I running here? I'm actually going to be upgrading pretty soon to another router because of the fact that this one, the wireless is kind of weak at range. But I don't want any of this to die out, so I'm going to enter through. But what I wanted to do is talk about a feature called VTP. VTP, like I said, is the VLAN trunking protocol. So what I'll do is, this is my switch 1. This is my 3550. 3550, if I do a show version again, the 3550, it allows me to run, this is my iOS image right here, it allows me to run what they call an EMI image. EMI is an EMI. It allows me to run enhanced management or something to that effect. What that does is it allows a switch to have a router built into it, and it allows you to route without having to have a router. So what you could do is, if you had a couple switches, like you say you have a couple 2950s, like you have, actually if you have a situation exactly like this right here, to where you have 3 access layer switches right here, these are access layer switches, and you have your trunk ports in between them. Let's assume that these guys are already configured as trunk ports. You see that they're running spanning tree because this guy right here is in blocking mode. This is blocking mode, and these two guys these are your designated ports right here. These guys are your root ports here. If you watch my VLAN video, I explained how that works, and I'll go over that briefly. But then you have your layer 3 switch, or multi-layer switch, and then it goes up to the router, and then your router would be doing your your routing. I mean, your OSPF, your EIGRPs, your RIPs, your IS to IS, your BGP, your MPLS. I mean, I can keep going. Frame relay, and all that type of good stuff. But anywho, basically what I have going on right now is I have my layer 3 switches, and let me, because I know you guys can see all this. I think you can anyway. Yeah, you can. I had to look for my. So what we're going to do here is we're going to. Now this is a Cisco 3550 layer 2 layer 3 switch, meaning I can, like I said, route and/or switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a. What can I do? A show Vtp status. Okay, right now I have Vtp version 1 running, which is the first one out. So we're going to do a show VLAN. And I only have one VLAN on here. Fast Ethernet 0/4. Okay, actually I was testing that, and that's why I did that. So actually do a show interface fast 0/4. Down. Oh, I remember what I was trying to do. I was trying to spoof it to make it look like it was gonna have something plugged into it, and it never worked. So, but that's okay though. What does spoofing mean? On a router, what you can do is you can go to the fast Ethernet port on it and do a no keep alive, and it simulates a network that's not actually there. So if you're to do a show IP interface brief, and you're to pipe it and type in include fast 0/4. I hate when things like that backfire on me. So you see fast Ethernet 0/4. It shows down right there. Well, in a router, you could typing in no keep alive turns it on so that physically there's nothing plugged into it, and then it's not sending data across the wire, which is what the protocol side means. So that's all that is. I was actually trying to be slick about it, but actually let me do this one more time. I think I have Etherchannel. Yeah, I have Etherchannel running on here. Etherchannel is kind of a cool feature. It allows you to take multiple trunk ports and logically bond them together so that you can utilize both ports and load balance across them. Very cool feature. I'm actually running on both of my 3550s because I I'm studying for the CCIE lab, and show Etherchannel, and oh, there you go. It's up and running. So, but it's layer 3, so it's routing. So actually, I could route. That's actually how you would route your core, your network. Is you would have your two 3550s and Etherchannel them together, and you would route instead of using spanning tree to converge. A lot faster. Now I don't have any routing protocols. Show IP protocols. I don't have any. It's okay. It's not. Is show run pipe include IP route? Yeah, it's okay. It's not there. So I'm not doing it. Show IP route. Yeah, I'm not. I don't have routing. I have it. I don't even think I have it turned on. I think I'd have to go in there and turn it on. Yeah, it's not on. I remember that now. It's not turned on. In order to make layer 3 work, you have to type in IP routing and global config on a layer 3 switch. But anyway, back to where we were at. VTP. VTP is a very cool concept. So like, if I do this and I do a show Vtp status, a couple things I want to point out to you. Right here, this guy right here, VTP operating mode is server. Show Vtp status. Server. Okay, notice how this guy's got 7 VLANs, this guy's got 6. Let's do a show VLAN. This guy's got VLAN 333 and 444. Actually, this was some testing that I was doing earlier, so actually let me... I think this might have died. Oh no, it's still... yep, it died. Yeah. Actually, let's bring this up again. Telnet. Let me bring this in so you guys can see this. I just opened up a command prompt and I type in Telnet 192.168.1.43. There it goes. Rob is my name and Cisco is the name of the game. I'm just kidding. So, Rob and Cisco. Now, how did I do that? How do I have the username? Well, if you do a show run and let it do its thing, right here. So I have that username Rob privilege 15 secret 5 and blah, 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 blah. Well, basically what I do is I go to global config. I say username Rob. I say privilege level 15, which means it comes in at privilege mode right here. The pound sign is privilege mode. And then I say secret, and then I type in my password, whatever that may be. What that does, and as you can see I have SSH in here turned on as well. What that does is it encrypts my passwords. So what I do is down here, I can have any password in the world under here. As you can see, I have remote management set up on it. I can put any password in there I want, but the minute I put in here login local on my VTY ports, notice how I don't have it on my console, I have it just on my VTY. The minute you put login local, it automatically trumps this password and it reverts it back to this one. Now if you were to go in and just say enable secret Cisco or Jim Bob or Jim Tom if you watch Moonshiners, and if you had just enable password, anything that's encrypted automatically trumps anything unencrypted. So just so you know, if you decide to put in enable password and then the password, it's going to show up clear text right in here. Notice how I said IP subnet 0, it'll run IP subnet 0. Anything that I put in here, password, is going to show up as clear text. Now, this no server password encryption, if I was to put this in place, it would give a type 7 encryption right here. So this password would be password and a bunch of numbers and letters. Not a hash like an MD5 hash, but just a regular type 7. But those are crackable, very crackable. So that's basically how that works. So now I'm going to, on this guy, I'm going to do show VTP status. Notice how this guy's in client mode. See that? That's a difference. There's actually 3 modes. There's server, there's client, and then there's transparent. We're not going to get into transparent, but I have number of existing VLANs, 12. Let's see what I have for VLANs. Show VLAN. Ta-da! I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 100. Why do I have so many VLANs? Well, because when I first got this new router, my modem was on 192.168.100.1, and it gave out, I think, like 25 addresses through DHCP. And I couldn't get to the internet because I didn't have the router yet. So rather than plug my computer into the router and fly solo, I plugged it into my switch so the entire family could get on the internet. I plugged it in. I had to create a VLAN and then route the VLAN. So I should be able to do a show IP route. Show IP. Oh, redirects. Oh. Oh, you know what? I blew all that away. That's right. I forgot. I keep forgetting about that. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. VTP allows you to, on your server, let's say this is your VTP server. VTP server. You would, on the VTP server, you would, so on this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this guy over here, and I'm going to shrink it up so you guys can see this. And I'm going to come over here, and on this guy, I'm going to turn debugging on. So debug, I'm going to debug, let's see, IP packet. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's the, so debug IP packet is on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to go, what am I going to do here? I'm going to come in, I'm going to go global config, I'm going to type in VLAN 1 to 25. Now I'm going to do an end to get out of that. So now if I do a show VTP status, notice how I got 7 and incremented? So what am I going to do now? How come it's not working? What's not going on? Well, let's do this. Let's do a show VTP status. Still got 12. Well, why is that? How come it's not replicating? What's going on? I don't know. I have to figure that out yet. That's why it's called a training video. Don't know all the answers. So, maybe because of the fact that, oh, you see, I'm, show, notice how this says this is in client mode. See, this is what I'm looking at on the fly. Okay. Let me cover just a couple things while I'm right here. Okay, VTP operating mode is client, which means anything that I configure on the server should replicate to the client, right? Well, yeah. VTP domain name is Riker.com. It's not a real domain name, it's just what I happen just to come up with on the fly. Well, if you don't have this guy right here all configured on this guy over here, it's not going to replicate. So what I have to do is not only do I have to configure trunking between my switch 1 and switch 3, so my 3550 layer 3 switch and my 2950 layer 2 switch, I also have to enable this guy to do, I have to put in the same domain name, password, and all that stuff. So it's just like a Windows operating system. If, let's say you have this, and you have a, this is your server, and then you have your client. Okay, you have your Windows 7 box, Win 7. Then you have a switch in between the two. Okay, so you have a server to a switch and a switch to a box. So this switch is switching for all the things in the network, in your domain. So this guy is your domain controller, your DC. Okay, you're running Active Directory on it, and you want to send out an update to this guy that he needs to update his password. The password is expired. So what this guy does is he sends out a message to this guy this guy gets it because he's a client on the network. The server sends a message to the client, and the client receives it and says password reset required. So you have to change your password. So you go in, you type in your new password, you hit enter, and then that sends a message back to the server with the new password, so that if anything happens, then they can go in there and they can change it. Same thing happens here. So I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to go to global config. I'll type in vtp domain Riker.com, and then so see how it changed from null to Riker.com. I'm going to type in vtp password as Cisco, and then we're going to type in vtp pruning. What is pruning? Well, it's actually a really cool concept. Let's say, for instance, that this... Actually, let me come back over here. Let's pretend... top part. Beautiful. Even better. Let's say, for instance, this switch right here has VLANs 1 through 10. Here, and this one's got VLANs 6 through 15. And this one's got 15 through... this one's got 10 through 20. Okay? Okay, so this one's this one, and this one... Let me bring this up just a bit. To this guy. Now, this is all going back to this guy. This guy. Okay? With VTP pruning, this guy sends update messages via VTP. Okay, VTP messages across the trunk ports. And it's still not going to update on this guy because I have configured trunking between the two. Even though they are physically connected. Actually, I'm verifying my cabling. And well, it's actually connected via another switch. They are not actually directly connected. Or are they? No, they're not. So, VTP sends an update to this guy. VLANs 1 through 10. Okay? Now, assuming that you have that all switches are receiving, before you turn pruning on, assuming that all VLAN information is being broadcasted to all switches in the network with all VLANs. So this guy's getting 10 through 20, this guy's getting 16 through 15, and this guy's getting 1 through 10. Well, let's pretend this one's getting 1 through 20, this guy's getting 1 through 20, and this guy's getting 1 through 20. What ends up happening with VTP pruning is you prune it back so only the switches with these VLANs in it get it. So this guy won't get, he'll still get, so because he's running 1 through 10 right here, he won't get 11 through 15. This guy won't get 1 through 5, and this guy won't get 6. Actually, this guy, let me back the train up just a little bit here. This guy is receiving VTP updates about 1 through 20, so he won't get 11 through 20 anymore. These will be cut out. Okay, they're going to go bye-bye. This guy's not going to get 1 through 5, or 16 through 20. And this guy's not going to get 1 through 9, because of the fact that he's VLANs 10 through 20. That's what VTP pruning is. It's taking the broadcast of VLANs that aren't on the switch that you're sending updates to and tailoring it back. It's better to do it VTP pruning wise, processor wise, and bandwidth wise, using VTP pruning than trying to do an access list or any other type of filtering that you could possibly do with VTP or VLANs. Actually, if I go to... I'm just looking here because it's weird that I don't have connections to that switch. That's just weird. Can I ping it? Do ping 192.168. Oh. Didn't like that. Oh, just so you know, any command in global config, if you type in do command, it will automatically do it as well. Just like being... Okay, there it goes. I can do it. So we're going to do a do show IP interface brief, and I have for kicks and giggles, we're gonna pull these command. I'm gonna pull this port out and put it into here because I don't feel like monkeying around with anything else. Okay, now the ports are up, and died out on me again. Rootin' tootin'. So actually, let me do. This guy's still here. So we're gonna do file, new connection, and then 192.168.1.43. Let's SSH, shall we? That one's gonna take a bit longer to do because it's got to authenticate and stuff like that. So SSH is encrypted connection. So connection refused. Oh, you know what? I don't have that as one of the options to do that with. So we're going to bring this back over here. We're going to do file, new connection. We're going to do telnet 192.168.1.43. And then once it does its thing, it's got a direct connect now, so it should pull up pretty quick here. There it goes. Rob is a username. You can only imagine what my password could be, right? It's a lab environment. I really don't care. It is Cisco. So we're gonna do a show Vtp status. Oh, hey, guess what? Riker.com. Oh, my firewall is saying, hey, a new PC is connected to your network. Yes, it has. It's my firewall. It's my router. So 43 closed. Thank you. I like how it gives me the update. It's I paid extra for that. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. So anyway, what we're gonna do, that's what VTP. That's kind of how VTP works. So I'm gonna try to erase. Almost. So we're just gonna erase some of the small stuff right here, all this chicken scratch, and I mean that's basically what VTP does. It just takes whatever you configure on your VTP server, and it replicates it down across your trunk links to your clients. So it's actually a really kind of cool. This is the only way that your VLANs will work if you don't do it otherwise. So what am I gonna do here? Oh, it died on me too. Fine, disconnected. So we're gonna say file, new connection, 192.168.1.41. Now, as you see, it's connecting, not responding. Windows 7 for you. I've actually got to reboot my computer. It's been on for about 3 or 4 days now. There we go. So now, show Vtp status. Okay, it's server. Vtp pruning is enabled. Riker.com. Notice how this one's Riker.com now? And I have 12 VLANs. Kind of cool, huh? Now, but see, this one's only got 7. So show VLAN. Show VLAN, if I could type. So it's only got 125. How come show VLAN? This one doesn't have it. How come it's I haven't configured a trunk. That's what the deal is. So, what's the fastest, anybody raise your hand, I'm just kidding. What is the fastest way to determine what your trunk ports are on your switches? You guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, show interface trunk. Not only does it tell you what your trunk ports are on your switch, it also tells you which VLANs are allowed across them. So, going back to my original statement, TRU, bam. So, 13 and 15 are my trunks. I got a lot of trunk ports on that one. Yes, I do. So we're going to go with 7 and 8 are my trunk ports. And this guy is 13 and 15, I see? Yes, it is. So, I'm going to show you guys a really quick command. So we're going to do config T, interface, range. Huge command in switching. Huge command. Fast 0/13 and make sure you put space, dash, space, and then 15. Enter. Now you can configure a range at one time instead of having to go fast 1, da 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 da, fast 2, da 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 da, fast 3, da 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 da. So much faster. So we're gonna go switch port, encapsulation, trunk, encapsulation, .1Q. .1Q is the IEEE standard. It is used for interswitch communication between vendors and Cisco. So you can use either the .1Q between Cisco routers or switches, or quotation marks ISL. ISL is Cisco proprietary. You can only use Cisco ISL between Cisco switches, not between Cisco and Juniper, not between Cisco and anybody else, just Cisco. There we go. Switch port, mode, trunk. Bam! That was simple. We're going to go global config. We're going to type in 7 and 8. So we're going to go interface range fast 0/7 space dash space 8. Enter. Make sure you get the command right. Type in switch port, trunk, encapsulation. Oh, see that? It's a 2950. You don't have to type that in. So we're going to mode, trunk. Bam! It was already a trunk port, if you notice up here. It was already a trunk. See that? Desirable .1Q. It does it by default. Right here. See that? 7, 8. Kind of nice. So, end. Show Vtp status. Oh. Show Vtp status. What's this I see? Let's see, show VLAN. If I can type. Still not showing. What? I'm just kidding. Show VLAN. 125. Oh, that's because I have pruning enabled. Haha. See? Pruning isn't always the best thing to do. Config T. Vtp Pruning. Control A takes you back. No. No Vtp pruning. Enter. Pruning switched off. So we're going to type in Alt Tab to go back over here. We're going to go show Vtp status. Guess what? Pruning is enabled. So we're going to go config T. We're going to go Vtp pruning so that it fills it in. Control A to go back to the beginning of the line. No. Space. Bam. Turned off. Aha. See that? Vtp mode server. Yes, you can turn it from server to client anytime you want, and just retype the command. Turned off, then you type in Vtp mode client. Bam, you're back to client mode. So that should have replicated already. So we should be able to type in N and go show Vtp status. Let's see, show VLAN. Still not showing up. I'm confused. I wonder why. And show VLAN. Show interface trunk. Now I'm wondering what VLANs are allowed across. 13 through 15, it's allowing every VLAN. VLANs allowed and active in management domain. VLANs allowed on trunk 1 through 4094. Show interface trunk. It's allowed as well. Why is that not working? Show VLAN. 100. Who's got 125? Because by all my accounts, this has been show VLAN. Well, who's got VLAN 125? I'm perplexed now. There it is. Well, VLAN 125 active. That's weird. I don't know why that did that. Ever do something and not know why it did it? Today's one of those days. Okay, well, we're going to go back to global config. We're typing VLAN 125. And then we're going to... Now, the nice thing about VLAN, when you're doing this, you can go in and you can go under and here and hit question mark. And wow, look at all that. Yes, you can do a lot with VLANs. A lot. What are we going to do? We're going to type in name, question mark, word. Word up. No, I'm just kidding. The ASCII name for the VLAN. What do you want the name? Let's type in ENG. Enter. End. Show VLAN. I should go into global config and make... See how that worked out? Engine. Right there for engineering. So we're going to do show... And cheat. Hey, what do you know? It's there. I must have done something right. I might actually know what I'm talking about after all that. So, that is how VTP works. As you can see, you have seen it work. I don't know why I wasn't able to do the debug. That's weird though. So, now that's all well and great. You can replicate your VLANs down across VTP. How does that work with your stuff? I don't get it. How do you make VLANs actually work? Well, that's actually really, really simple to explain. And this is how I will explain it. Back on this guy, as soon as I click on my pen, let's say this is a 24 port switch. So let's say you have computer, computer, computer. Okay. What you do is you connect these computers to these switches. And what these switches do, or what the computers connect to each switch port, what you do is you go per interface. You can go per interface, or you can do it at a range. I usually go on a VLAN basis, so I'll go VLAN 10, the devices that I want to put in that VLAN, and then I'll type in I'll type in interface range. So like what I'll do here is I'll go in config T interface range, and then let's say for instance I want to do 14 through, let's do 19 through 22. So fast 0/1922. Okay, now we're gonna take all these. We're gonna take all those VLANs, those four these 1, 2, 3, 4 VLANs. We're gonna do switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, now you've just taken those 4 ports out of VLAN 1 and put them into VLAN 10. So do show VLAN. See that? VLAN 10. Now you have 4, 19, 20, 21, 22. So now there are 5 ports in VLAN 10. That's all you have to do. That's that simple. Now, with that being said, now, what are my options? Well, we actually have quite a few of them. I'm going to show you one really, really quick. There it is, spanning tree. What is spanning tree? Remember that little concept I told you about where it blocks redundant links, where this one's in blocking mode, this one's in blocking mode, so that this guy forwards to this guy, this guy forwards to this guy, this guy forwards to this guy, but this guy can't forward to this guy, and this guy can't forward to that guy. So there's no loop. So it's a communication this way, communication this way, and communication this way. And then vice versa. It goes that way, it goes this way, and then this way. That's how it works. So you can type in spanning tree. I know there's a lot of things. Question mark. Well, you've got a couple of things in here. I'm not going to get into anything except for one. Portfast. So Portfast. Portfast. If you have too many the same thing and you try to hit the tab key, it'll be like, I don't know what you want. Portfast, question mark. You want to type in enable or not. Switch spanning tree Portfast. Squawk, what is that? Warning! Portfast should only be enabled on ports connected to a single host. Connecting hubs, concentrated switches, bridges, etc. to this interface when Portfast is enabled can cause a temporary bridging loop. What does that mean? Very simple. When you connect a device to a switch that has Portfast enabled, you bypass the blocking, listening, learning, and then you go straight to forwarding. So in blocking, it's like this guy right here. Okay, blocking means that it's going to wait 20 seconds for BPDUs. This guy sends out communication to this guy and a BPDU. It receives BPDUs. Okay, so if it takes a BPDU, it's not going to work. So then it goes into listening, and that's where it gets the MAC address. And then the priority determines who becomes the root bridge and the spanning tree domain. I explained all this in another video. And then it goes into forwarding, and then it goes into learning. So it listens for the MAC and the priority, it learns it, and then what it does at that point is it takes this guy and it does do show MAC dash address. ARP 10112. Oh, those are my it's giving all of my secrets away. No, I'm just kidding. This is the IP address of my computer right there. That's how I'm able to connect to them. They have to be on the same subnet. But anywho, if you connect a PC, any end device, printer, server, wireless access point, to a switch port with Portfast enabled, it's automatically going to go into forwarding mode. It gets you up and running right away. You know, then you're going to pull DHCP and life's going to be good because you'll be up and running. So that's the concept. Now, up here you see BPDU filter. Don't send or receive BPDUs on this interface. It's going to filter them, not going to do anything with it. If BPDU guard is enabled, if it receives a BPDU on a switch port that is supposed to be for an end device, computer, laptop, server, it will shut the port down. It'll go into error disable. You'll have to go in and turn the port off, turn the port back on, and then clear it. Cost. Well, cost is associated with the port cost, and that's actually way beyond anything we need to worry about, so that's why I'm not even going to go into detail with it. Multiple spanning tree, that's cool. Multiple spanning tree allows you to take a very large spanning tree domain and put it into like a giant OSPF area in a layer 2 environment. So that's basically what it does. So you're able to take like VLANs 1 through, actually that's not true, 2 through, like say 300. Let's say you have 300 VLANs, or 299 VLANs. You can put them all in a region, and they're all in the same spanning tree domain. Makes it a lot more scalable. Because if you were to configure 300 or 299 VLANs on your thing, you're gonna, with per VLAN spanning tree and rapid spanning tree, you're gonna have 300 299 separate spanning tree instances on your switch, and your switch is going to be going crazy trying to keep up with that. So it is better off to just not have that many VLANs, or put multiple spanning tree in there and go from there. It's actually really scalable. So I've never actually configured it myself. I'm planning on doing that, and I'll just create like 100 VLANs, throw 50 in here, 50 in there, and go from there. So, but that's the world of VLANs, or VTP, and how it works, and how it replicates. It actually should be VLAN replication protocol, but it's appropriately named because of the fact that it does actually need a trunk port to send the information over. If you don't have trunking enabled, it's not going to work. Simple as that. Now, I could be wrong. I have been wrong in the past on some things, depending on the iOS you're running and the release and all that type of stuff. In particular, in different versions of iOS, it may work. So like if you're running like 12.1 something or other, it may work. Where in 12.2 something, it may not. So each iOS image is different. So um, make sure you're aware of that before you dive into anything. So like I said, this is my personal equipment. My 2950s cost me about 50 bucks together. I bought them separately. And then my 3550s, they were 110 a piece. So I have almost $300 wrapped up in just switches. And I'm actually going to fire up GNS3 because I'm feeling cool at the moment. Voila, the beauty of video animation. This is GNS3. It allows you to create some pretty robust topologies. And this is actually my CCIE lab environment that I'm working with. As you can see, I have, what is it about? What's that, 8 routers, 9 routers running, and then I have 4 switches. So this is my CCIE lab prep. I'm running frame relay right here. These are the Delcies. Those are all the command. I got Etherchannel running between those guys and running between those guys and so on and so forth. But what I wanted to show you, it's this really cool concept. Now I think it'll work here, is I'm going to take this guy, put that right there, and I'm going to turn this guy on. Right click, start. So it's going to take a couple seconds for that guy to boot up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on here, I'm going to click on configure, cloud 1, and I'm going to, what is that? Let's go loopback 1, add, apply, click. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click from here and click to there, and now I should be able to console this. And there it is. So I'll do this is the real iOS emulated. Show IP interface brief. And so I'm happy to see that the lab is actually holding a file. So I'm going to do config interface fast 0/1 no shut. So hey, what do you know, it came up. Show end, show CDP neighbors, nothing. Is it connected? Oh, it shows that it's on. So I'm not. It's been a long time since I've actually made this work. I was actually gonna try to connect from GNS3 to my live environment. I'm not sure if it's gonna work though. Interface fast 0/1. Type in IP address 192.168.1. Type in 50. Oh. Can I ping 192.168.1.41? I don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, I don't think it's going to. Oh, there. Oh, well. Incomplete. Incomplete. It sees it. That shows it to you. It shows that it sees it because it's plugged into it, but it doesn't know the MAC address, so it doesn't know how to get to it. In order for a ping to work, it's got to be able to find the MAC address and then do an ARP lookup to the IP so that it knows where to go. Because what it's actually doing is bouncing to the router. And, well, actually, you know what? Now that I'm sitting here, let me minimize this and then show run interface fast 0/2. Switch port mode dynamic desirable. let's seize it. But my point to that was this. Now this is Putty. It's another emulation software that I use. The beautiful thing about this software is when I actually get to... Oh, it doesn't see it anymore. I don't know. I'll have to troubleshoot that. Show version. Like I said, this is a full-blown router. It's emulating a 3725. My version right here is its Advanced Enterprise Services K9-M version 12.4.15 T8, which is train. What this does is it allows people like me that are studying for the CCIE to take a topology like such and build it, and then I can, instead of having to go out and buy, say, 10 routers or whatever, and spend, say $3,000 or $4,000 on equipment, you can take GNS3. It has the capability of connecting to live equipment, which I will figure out how to do that again. And once you have the live equipment set up and you connect it, as you can see, I have my DLCs all set up. It's fully meshed. Or, no, I'm sorry, no, it's not. I don't remember if it's fully meshed or not. What it does is it allows you to connect to live equipment, so you can actually ping from your live equipment to your GNS3 topology. And you can actually, if you're dealing with just straight layer 2, you can actually route your VLANs via a virtual router. It's like running VMware, but for Cisco. So if you go to YouTube and type in GNS3 and live equipment, there's a bunch of videos that'll show you how to do it, where you use the cloud. And actually, if I bring out cloud here and I let it drop and then configure, I think there's a way. Yeah, right here. I can actually connect to my internet connection right here. So we're going to click apply, click OK, and then we're going to, we'll turn this guy on real quick, just for kicks. And so we're going to do the same thing with this. Now my internet's running a little, or my computer's running a little slow because I'm turning on routers. But, oh, you know what? I can't. Because the fact, oh, no, I can. Exit. Console. Alright. Come here. So, show IP interface brief. Oh, I almost had a heart attack. I spent like an hour getting everything IP addressed in this thing. Serial interface 0 is down because the other serial interfaces will come up for 30 seconds, and if it doesn't detect the line protocol on the other switch, it shuts the line protocol down. So I'm gonna they're both down now. So is that fast 0/0? I don't know what that is. Show ARP 192.10. Oh, that's because it's changed to up. Oh yeah, because it's connected to the frame relay. It's detecting frame relay. So if I do a show frame, what is that? Map? Yeah, there's nothing there. I'll show frame PVC. I don't know. I'm not trying to show off or anything, but I'm trying to show you how ping yahoo.com. Yeah, that's what I thought. Show, is it running? Show run include domain. Oh, that's one thing you gotta tell what you want to look. Include name. No, it's host name. See, it'll pick up anything with name in it. So yeah, I don't think it's running show run.
Takes it a couple seconds for it to pull it. And I am not doing domain lookup, that's why. It's right there. No IP domain lookup. That's how you turn DNS off on the switch, or on the router. But, and then I will turn these guys, I'll stop them just like that. Stop. And then I'll delete these. And delete that. So, but that gives you a lowdown on GNS3. It is available for free on the internet. GNS3 is cool. Graphic network simulator. It, a friend of mine is a Cisco engineer, and he gave me a couple of images. I've actually got about 5 of them on my computer here, and so that's how I'm able to boot it. So, like I said, if you have the image and it's uncompressed, you're able to load it into GNS3, and you actually, if you go to Edit and you go to iOS Images and Hypervisors, and I have 3725 right there. And it's loaded, it's uncompressed. This is the base image. It's got an idle PC value, and then you close it out, and you're able to drag. So like if I drag a 1700 out there, it's going to say no image for platform C1700 available. So you have to have an image available for it to boot from. So as soon as you bring it, drag it out here, and you turn it on, it comes up, and away you go. So it's actually really cool. You're able to do what you're able to do with this. This is what I will use for. You'll see this a lot more when I get farther along with stuff. So, but that's pretty much it for right now. So we're going to click out. We're going to say yes. You always save. And what it does then is it saves the config of all of the routers down here at the bottom. So, but that's all I have for you tonight. These are starting to go in. I bet you they're still live. So anyway, that's basically where it sits with that. So what else? Do I have anything else cool to show you? Not really. That's pretty much the end of my video for the night. I don't like giving out hour-long videos, but this is my training, right? Internet INE. Check them out. They have a free CCNA bootcamp if anybody's interested. Go online. I'll send an email out. I think I'll shoot one out to Rebecca as well with everybody else, and you'll be able to go through that. That's me, my 3-year-old, and my 10-year-old, and my wife. Yeah, that's about it. So I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.